Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Aaron Dishno and I am the inventor of WalkTheWeb 3D Internet. So today have some great news for you. We have some really cool updates that we've been working on that are finally in the release form. And speaking of release, I'm going to go over those and show you those different items. But speaking of release, before we get started, one of the things I want to mention to you is this. I've been asked more than once, when are we going to release WalkTheWeb? Trivial question. There's actually two different things two different types of releases that we do. So when they ask me that, I usually assume that they're talking about a formal game or a formal 3D, 3D store, 3D shopping centers, whatever you're going to do. But basically, what's happening is this: WalkTheWeb is in release form as a tool for creating 3D websites, 3D games, and 3D shopping stores. Okay, so it is in release form. We did that back in the end of September in 2019. So we've had over a little over a year now that we've been doing releases. Every single month we do a new release, and it adds features and functionality to the tool of WalkTheWeb for creating and hosting 3D websites. So with that said, we are in release form. We do have a product and we are creating websites. Now, with that said, to create a 3D game or create 3D stores, we are still finalizing some touches on doing those particular things. But that doesn't stop you from actually creating a game. You could actually beat us to the punch. You could beat us to doing 3D stores or something. But the idea is that the tool can already create games from scratch. If you decide you want to create a game, you get the multiplayer environment, which, why are you looking at me still? Let's go ahead and jump right in here. Okay, so basically you get the tool for creating your scenes, creating buildings, putting them in the scenes. It automatically loads when you get closer to them and unloads when you get farther away. You can put things into there that are created in Blender. You can create items that you want in 3D, drop them into here and just drop them right into your scenes or into your buildings, or create them as separate things and put them into your scenes. The other part is you basically can assemble the whole thing and then add your own custom code to make your custom game. So, oh, by the way, we also include multiplayer. So off the start, you get avatars, logins, multiplayer, and a scene creator, and buildings and things. You got all this stuff to be able to get started, put it all together, and then just add your custom components for making a game. Now, we keep throwing out there extra custom components. For example, just a month ago, we released a setup that lets you do coins. So you can have coins in your games where people walk around and collect the coins, and it'll accumulate for you. In the near future, we'll have some things where you can actually purchase updates and upgrades with coins. So that's all coming. Not going to push too much on the future of where we're going. That's for another video. But I'm going to show you what we already have today. This is stuff that you can do and use already in the scenes and today. Now, in the last month, one of the things we added, in fact, December we did this, is you can now click on WalkTheWeb. In the bottom right corner, there's a little content rating. If you click on it, it'll show you the main scene that you're in, and it'll tell you the rating of that scene, but then it also tells you any item that is within that scene that's been added as a separate component. It'll tell you all their content ratings, and the scene rating will be adjusted according to everything that's in it. So if I put something that is only for 13 and above in my scene, then the scene gets the 13 and above rating. If you ever want to know what caused it to upgrade to that particular rating, all you have to do is look in here and you'll be able to see which item is in your scene that has that particular rating. Now, with that said, this shows everything that's going to appear in the scene, and it doesn't mean it's already in the scene. As you're walking around, notice how right now, okay, so we have things like this building and this dock, and we have some different posts over here. But if I walk away from here, or even in a small scale, right now, this thing says there's a display case, 90 degrees display case in something. Well, basically, it's not shown. But if I turn around and walk inside here a little closer, it actually loads it. And I'm just kind of letting it catch up with me. And basically, it will load the display case. I should have even checked it. There it is, right there. So it knew there was going to be a display case in here, and it already knew the rating of the display case because it is a separate component. So everything that you see here are different items that will load at different times when you're in the scene. Okay, with that shown, I want to show you where we do this. In the admin, if you have admin or developer rights or graphic artist rights in as a role in a server, then basically you'll have this option. You can load either the community scenes, each building, or each thing. And I'll talk about avatars in a few minutes here. I just want to say this also applies to avatars. But if I say, let's load up, select the building, for example, and I just say, what do I even have on this server? Let's go with the barn store. And for any one of these items, if you go to edit the building, options and settings, you can go to ratings and requirements. Now, requirements are something that we're still adding in here. You'll see it mature in the next month or two. But parental controls. Right now, this particular building is not rated. So all I have to do is turn on the rating system, and I can pick from various ratings. Now, the idea is, of course, I personally am only going to host and support things that are rated for all. So basically that's my push on this stuff. But I also want to warn parents and warn teens, warn whoever of anything else that comes down the line. So on my responsibility, I want to make it available that you can warn people what's going to be there, and we can add in additional controls and stuff in the future for that. But let's say I pick a different item here. It'll tell you what it actually means. Now, above and beyond picking a scene or an item, and it tells you what they are, it's basically like, it's our own system, Web P17, P13, obviously 13-year-olds, 17-year-olds, Web Adult, and each one will break down what it requires to be there. Now, anything beyond the basic thing, the basic 2, if it requires an age, then it is going to require an age to go onto that site and stuff. It's going to confirm when you create an avatar, you've got to be logged in, and it's going to also make sure that you're a certain age by date of birth. So there's some confirmation things that'll come up in the near future that we'll do. But with that said, we have these different ratings that you can do, and also additional content ratings that you can add to it. So you can type in plain text different items that you want to appear right here when somebody uses this particular building in their site. So if I come in here and I say, let's say I need to tell them that it has graphic images or something, and I've rated this for parental guidance, type parental oversight. So if I say something in here and then save it, it will pop up down here. You'll see the rating, and you'll see that extra line of content in the thing down here. So let's say, let's add graphic images, save parental controls, and as soon as it's saved, it updates it down here, and you'll notice graphic images, the words that I put there, the exact wording that you use will show up in the rating of what they do. Tells you the item, then the rating, and then this. Now, if we drop this building into a 3D scene, a community, then basically it will inherit this rating, and it could change the rating of the full scene, which always it's shown in the bottom right corner. It'll always show you there, and so it'll change the actual rating of the scene just by this building being in that scene. Now, for our particular case, we already know this building doesn't have any high ratings, so I'm going to go back to Web All, save the parental controls, and notice it updated it down here. And since this is the only thing open, it says Web All, and we're good to go. So that's how we work the parental rating system, the content rating. Now your building is set. We know what rating it is, and when you drop it in scenes, it will encourage the scene on that same level. Okay, with that said, here's the next really cool thing that we added this month. It will be released before the end of the month, so we've got like 1 or 2 days here, and it'll be released. But I want to show you, the way that we did any type of 3D thing, building, or community, you can always say, hey, I want to add one. You go to our downloads. You can either create a new one from scratch, or you can download different items that other people have shared. Okay, and if you're wondering where the share item is, we have this building open right now, and if I say options and settings, I can say share 3D building. Let's say I built something here. I can type in a description and some tags that you might search for it by. Here's the name. I can create a default snapshot just by clicking on this button right here. It'll take a picture of your screen. Little helpful hint, you can also release your avatar and then take a picture without your own avatar in it, move it around the screen and then take it. The other part is you click share building and it gets shared out to the servers, and we can make it, once it's approved, we make it available so that other people can search for them and download them. And that's what you get when you say add new building. Notice there's a foundation ready to build on. There are different buildings that have been downloaded to date that you can click on, and they automatically get downloaded to your version of WalkTheWeb, and then you can use them in your scenes any way you wish. You can even modify them or anything else because they are your copy of it. So they are no longer the original item. Well, this month we have a great advancement, and that is you can now do your own avatars. So we repackaged the original 10 avatars, and we are now releasing it with a way that you can edit those avatars, and you can also create new avatars that allow you to just completely, sky's the limit, and add them to your sets. We have a couple things about it. First of all, I'm going to select one of the avatars I already have, and I'm going to say, oh, let's go with Jasper here since he's on the top of the row. Notice it also separated it by group. That's another little piece I'll show you here in a second. But when I tell it I want to load up Jasper, for example, he loads up in front of me just like you're working on a thing, a building, or a community, which is really awesome because now I can edit Jasper and I can say, okay, we have options and settings. We have edit 3D avatar, for example. I can edit the basic information of what you call him. This does not affect when somebody selects them and makes it their avatar. Once somebody selects it, it's a copy of it that becomes their avatar, and you can change the original without affecting anybody that's already selected the item they did. They can change the name for their username and everything else. This is only the preset. Like if I come in here and I want to choose an avatar, I can say select my avatar, and this row right here is directly taken from these avatars. So you can turn around and you can pick which avatar you want to play. Well, with what we're doing, you can actually add new avatars just like you download and upload buildings, things, and communities. So you get your avatar and you can set some default things. One of them is what group of avatars is it in? We created groups. We have anonymous and we have default, which are the original 10. But you can actually create your own additional ones. Like on this server, I've already created some that I'll start populating for custom, fantasy, heroes, medieval, and zombies. I think I clicked on something else when I left that other screen. So my avatar just changed. But just so you know, you can click on these different ones. And whatever group you set it in, that's what group they're going to show up on the site. Keep in mind, in the future, one of the things that I'm going to be doing is allowing you to set for your scene which groups of avatars you want to allow. And if somebody comes there and they don't have the right kind of avatar, they would be prompted to select one of the avatars from your sets of avatars. So for example, if I create a medieval scene, I don't have to have people running around in the scene that are doing space costumes or superheroes or whatever. I can actually lock it down where basically the only ones that can be selected are people in a medieval avatar theme. So that's what's up and coming. That's what we're going to be able to do. But at this stage, we're setting the avatar in their respective groups. If you want to say if they're male or female or whatever gender you'd like to pick, you can type in whatever. You can type in anything you want there, so we leave that wide open. And that just helps for the searching if somebody's looking for a specific gendered avatar. So you can use whatever you want in there. It's added to the search. And also avatar description is part of the search. So that takes care of those. We have the ability now to look at the avatar files. So the different ones that made up this avatar, you can actually just click upload and replace the files and create new ones with it. You can add textures in a separate folder now, so it supports that. There's the main directory, then there's a textures folder and an animations folder underneath it. So each one of these characters have, for example, all the basic animations. We went from 12 animations on each avatar to, I believe it's 48 or 49, almost 50 animations. This is for some near future expansions that we're doing. So just to let you know, these avatars are not the same old default 10 avatars. They are fully loaded for some of the future stuff that we want to do, which includes carrying a rifle, being able to die, swim, jump in different directions, sleeping, sitting. We're going to be expanding those functionality into here, and we wanted to make sure all of the default avatars have the basics in place. Also, you can add as many optional animations as you like. When you add an optional animation, those are the ones that pull up on the bottom here, and you can just select any one that you want. You can say, like here, we're going to do the King Tut dance. As long as you're holding down the button, you're dancing, and basically anybody that sees you in multiplayer is going to see you dance also. So every one of these are different animations that I've added, and you have the choice to add as many animations as you like. We will have a separate video for creating these avatars and creating them from scratch or downloading from like Mixamo and then bringing them in and showing you how to configure them in WalkTheWeb. We'll have a separate video that takes you through all of those stages. But I just wanted you to show you that it is all available and you can update them on the fly now. And you can basically share and download avatars the same way we did all of the different things and buildings and communities. Okay, so avatar scaling. One of the things on this scene is that you can now set the avatar's height and scale. When we import them, often they are too large for our scene. I'm talking giant and, Jack and the Giant beanstalk sized avatars. What we do is we can scale them up or down. Like let's say Jasper grew up and you don't want to be that height anymore. You can actually come in here and you can just say, okay, we're adding some height, and notice he's growing slowly, or you can grow a little faster with this and see, now he's almost reaching the door. Keep in mind, we made these items have the door so that you can scale them so that you'd be able to walk through a door of a building, a typical building, if you like to. If you make it bigger than the door, you will not be able to walk inside of the building. So keep in mind, that's the typical size of an avatar, scaling wise, to get them into this place. And notice you can get closer if you want, and you can fine tune it, whatever height you want it to be. In this case, I'm not going to really change his height. Another thing is this red arrow on the ground is used to tell which direction we planned for the avatar's facing direction. So if you load him up and he's facing to the left, which I'm going to show you that Mixamo ones all do that, what you do is you use this rotation over here, and you can actually change the rotation of your avatar to make sure that they are facing the correct direction so that when you walk, it walks forward. It doesn't do like some crazy moonwalk where he's facing this way but walking that way. So we want to make sure that it's aligned with the direction that our program offers. Okay. You can also type in any one of these boxes, and as you move them, it will, when you move the cursor off of it, it will change the scales and stuff. So if you're going from 1, you don't have to sit there and hold the button down until you hit 0.09 or something. You can actually just type in a number in each one of these spots, and when you move the cursor off of it, it will change the scene. Okay, and also the avatar position. This is used for if you're centering ground 00 and you created a custom avatar and you find out when you get in the scene that he's a foot off the ground or she's a foot off the ground, you can adjust it to make sure that it's centered on the exact spot that you believe is going to be basically the center of the doorway and in line with the arrow to go forward. Okay, I gave you this little gimmicky door and with the extra extension so you can see it when you're covering it up, and the arrow on the ground so that you can use it to align and get everything in place. But notice if I set something here, notice he's going off the ground. I can actually adjust his position to make sure that he is zeroed out where I expect him to be, in line with where the avatar is going to move in the scene. Okay, it's just a realignment process that you have available to you. If you do it right in Blender or your 3D place and you actually have it in alignment with where zero position is and everything else, then this isn't going to be an issue and it's not going to be something you need to change. But I just wanted to make it available. You can change the scaling, the rotation, and then the position. Click Save, and it'll keep all those settings for you. And now we have avatar colors. Here's a new way that we do this. This is really cool. You can click on any one of the items here, or if you click on something, right click on something in the scene, it will pick that item for you. Once you've picked it, we have 4 possible colors that we work with in these scenes. Not all avatars that you bring in use the same one as a massive thing. Like, for example, if I edit our default, the anonymous female or male avatars that are just colors and they don't have any textures applied to their frames, then what happens is their specular color and diffuse colors or actually diffuse color and emissive colors are the main ones that get picked up. But if I have a texture on, like here, I want those to be in the far left corner or white so that it shows that item, because otherwise it starts to tint what you're working with. Now, diffuse color, some of them are very bright on that and some are less. Notice the ambient color, for example. If I start moving this, you can see how the color of the shirt is changing tints. This one actually has more work. Like here, I can make it green tint, for example. That's a really good example. If I go back to white, it goes back to the original texture. It still has to blend with the textures that you have on there, but in the same time, you can affect them and change the color of whatever item you pick. The other thing is the emissive color. This one can override, notice how it's overriding the texture of what you have. Hey, Eva. So basically, this one can override the texture and actually emissive. In other words, it emits this color. It goes beyond just the, yes, custom avatars. So it goes beyond just the inherent colors of the item. So this one is very keen for being able to override something that you currently have on something. And notice if you go to white, it completely overrode the texture. So anything to the right is going to keep the texture. You can make it to whatever sense you want, including practically glow in the dark, all the way down to the original texture. So you can play around with these settings, set it wherever you like. Specular color, I do have to tell you what that is. Wherever the sun hits something, it causes like a sunspot on the item that it reflects off of. The specular color is just that. It's basically if the sun hits it in a certain spot, which you might notice a little bit around the top of his head where the sun's hitting it, that would change the color of the reflection of that sunspot. So specular color is the reflective color of the sun. Ambient color is considered the absorption of the color from the scene itself. Emissive means you're broadcasting it, kind of like doing neon lights. And then finally, diffuse color is the inherent color, which also tends to be the shaded areas. So when you have an item that has more shading, like let's say I had a sphere, the shading on the bottom would be more of the diffuse color. The specular color would be the sunspot. The emissive color would be the way the whole thing shines off of it. And then the ambient color would be any extra color it picked up from the environment around it. Okay, so that just gives you a breakdown of the different colors and what they actually mean. I'm going to say cancel right now, which it didn't reset. Don't worry, I just haven't added that to the code. It is still its original colors, and if I came back in here and picked tops, it should have gone back to my original things. I didn't click Save Colors. Well, you can adjust them, do what you want. I know where the original ones were. Okay, so if I had refreshed the scene, it would have brought back the original colors. It actually does not save unless you click Save. Okay, and then avatar animations. This is where you can create and add as many as you like. Down on the bottom, it says Add New Animation. If I come in here, I can actually say On Option are the ones that show up when you click here, just so you know, and you can have as many as you like. Otherwise, you can type a friendly name just so that when you click this, the friendly name is what pops up when you see it. So just so you know what that is. Content folder is by default. We don't really change that. That is where it lines up with, remember when we saw avatar files? that is the same folder when you click animations. It is the animation folder underneath that particular avatar. Okay, and you can click on whatever animation you've uploaded, the Babylon file. It also supports object, let's see if I say this right, GLTF and GLB files. But I use the Babylon files right now so far, and I haven't really tested the other ones a whole lot, so in a future release, I'll commit to that. In the meantime, if you click Add here, you can actually do a quick add of files and just basically load up whatever files you're working with, and as long as you've created them for this avatar, it'll apply to the animation and it'll bring them in. So I have all my avatar files. I have basically, different things for each avatar that I'm creating. And if you have an icon path, then you can actually set the icons for here. Otherwise, it'll just be the default play icon or action icon. That's what that is. And you can set the start frame and end frame within your animation. And then when you click save, you can also set the speed ratio. This is important. Let's say I created a walking animation for my avatar and I don't have a running animation yet. Until I design my own running animation, I can actually use the walking animation, but set it to like speed 1.5 or even 2.0. That would increase the speed and he would actually be running using a walking animation. So it's a way of changing the speed of a current animation using the speed ratio. You click save, it gets added to the list, and then it's available. Any one of these items that you put in here, you can click on it and it'll expand and you can edit the information that it's using. Some things you'll have to click save so that it reloads the animation. Otherwise, if you hold down test animation, it will do that particular animation. So it's a quick way to go through and check the different animations and see that everything's working smooth for the avatar. So really cool stuff, huh? So that takes you through building an avatar from scratch and putting them together. Then the final parts of this are in options and settings. You can this is the new part, you can set the content rating of your avatar. So if my avatar has, let's say, a zombie and he's got blood gushing out of him and spewing everywhere as he walks around, I may say, okay, you probably need to be 13 years old to see this, and I can actually change the avatar's rating and say at P13, now it's not recommended for children under 13. You can do that, and it will automatically mean when people download things and they want to put them into their scenes, they'll know if this avatar is allowed in their scene or not, okay? So it's a quick, easy way to use the same content rating system I've already shown you, but you can actually set it per avatar. The other thing is the avatar snapshot. So this was another piece we took over from before. When you came in here and you said, I want to select my avatar and I'm going to change my avatar, and you want to click on a new one to create a new avatar, these pictures were different, like this one doesn't have a picture yet. It's a default thing. We had some little 200 by 200 dot pictures in there. Well, now what I allow you to do is you can actually come in here and you can set the default snapshot, which means I can take this avatar, move the screen around using my mouse. Notice I can hold the mouse left button down and I can move it around, and basically you can completely walk around the scene. Oops, let me see what's going on. What do I do? Okay, but you can move it around the scene, okay? When you get it to where you want, and you can use the scroll wheel to move forward and backwards. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to center the avatar in a way that I'm basically going to use them. You have this down here, which is the animations button. That's the center of the screen. So I kind of use that to line up my avatar to make sure he's going to be somewhere near the center of the picture. And all I have to do is click Set Default Snapshot. A couple seconds later, it will reload and it uses the one you did. Now notice that one was a little smaller than what I had before, so I'm actually going to zoom in a little closer. See if I can't get them in a little closer here. Get them all in there. And I can say Set Default Snapshot. And showing off his best side. It doesn't have to be face on. You can do it from a little bit of an angle or whatever you want to do to show off the avatar that you're using. But now when we use this avatar and we look in here, select my avatar, notice there's our picture. that's the one it uses and pulls from the system. So that is what we're using to select the picture. That's the image that we, snapped, and it'll take care of it. So that's the whole idea, is it updates the image that we're using. Okay, with that shown, you can copy your avatar to create a new one based on a different avatar just by clicking Copy 3D Avatar, which I didn't click. Okay. My computer's doing updates or something while I'm doing this. So, okay. But you can copy the avatar and it'll create a new one on your list, and you can rename it, and then you can use that exact same copy of the avatar. It creates a new folder on your hard drive with a copy of all the files so that it is its own unique system. If you change that new avatar, the copy, you are changing only the new version of it. So it's a quick, easy way to do a backup copy of an avatar and create a whole new avatar without messing with it. Also, you can delete the avatar. So if you created a copy and you go, I don't like this one anymore, you can delete it and take it offline. And finally, there's Share Avatar, which if you create a unique avatar and it's not already in our system, feel free to share it, and then others can download it and use it in their scenes. This will help with your promoting yourself as a designer for WalkTheWeb, because you can get jobs for creating custom avatars for other people, or custom 3D things, or buildings, or scenes. You can create items. By sharing them here, makes it available for other people, but that's notoriety. You're going to build up a name for yourself, and then when we create our marketplace, which is coming up in a few months, you're going to be able to promote your items and sell them. And the more you do for free, also, people get to know your name, then they're going to find your items that you're selling, and they'll pay the price to get really good quality items. So keep that in mind. That's all some really cool stuff. But you can share out your items, and then they become available. Now, if you shared an item, well, before I go there, avatar groups, this is the group categories that I currently have on that drop-down list when I'm editing the information about my avatar. So if you want to add a new one, just type Add New, type in the name, click Save Avatar, and you can add a new one. If you decide you want to get rid of one, just click on it for Edit, and you can click Delete Avatar Group, or you can update the name or something like that, and it will make it available for the avatars, okay? That's the avatar groups. And the other thing that I want to show you is edit the avatar animation events. These are the ones we are currently supporting and planning to support. We can, through updates, we may add some additional ones to the list automatically, but you can actually add your own, and you can code against it and say, hey, when this animation runs, which is called this, you can tell it, this is what I want it to turn on and do and whatever else. So you can add your own events to the code. We'll talk more about that when we talk about customizing avatars and creating that stuff. But for this time, I just want you to know these are all the animations that we support, but there is a catch-all, and that's that on option, which is this button once again, all the optional animations that you want to be able to just click and play anytime you feel like it. Okay? Avatar list and profile, that's just a quick way to get a list of your current avatars. I may have broke that because, I disabled it. I'm planning, this is my development environment, by the way, and I am going to remove both those because they were replaced by a lot of the stuff we already did up here. So just so you know, that's going to be replaced. Okay, then finally, I want to show you that, okay, there is Add New Avatar, which is the same thing as going WalkTheWeb downloads, and notice we've added 3D avatars here. You have your scenes that you can look through and find scenes. You can do searches and look for things that aren't on the initial screen. There is a lot more than what's on the initial screen, especially when it comes to building and things. But like when you're looking here and you find what you're looking for, you can just click on it, it downloads it to your system. Same thing for things. Let's say I wanted a table. I can come in here and say table, click go, and it replaces it and it shows me different types of tables that we've created and dropped into the system, or things that other people have updated or uploaded into here. So you can type in keywords and you can get different searches and come up with whatever you're looking for. The other part is we now have an avatars tab. Yay! So all those shared items that you do, you can get the original downloaded avatars here. We put them all online so they're available to you with all the extra animations in place. And on top of that, any avatar, for example, this one that I created, you can get this one. Let me refresh. Let me clarify that. I downloaded it from Mixamo, so they created it, original artwork. I want to give them credit where credit's due. And then I was able to use that design, and I was able to configure it for WalkTheWeb and then share it out so that it's available for everybody else to use in WalkTheWeb. Okay, so I want to make sure that you know that. Now, one of the things it does is it does tell you and give credit to whoever uploaded it, and it will tell you how many times it's been downloaded since you uploaded it. So it'll show you the more popular items or the different things, which we'll be adding some tabs over here that let you go most popular and different things like that. Hey, Zudio, how you doing today? Game's coming along great. And we added some custom avatars, so now we have the ability to add and share avatars. So if you share an avatar, it shows up here. Other people can click on avatars and download it and get it. Now, I want to show you that in the same way, if you're in Add Avatars and you say Add New 3D Avatar, then you basically go to this download screen. It's the same thing as Media Player, WalkTheWeb Uploads, and then clicking avatars. Same thing for 3D things, buildings, and communities. So if you were creating a new 3D thing, if I say add new 3D thing, it's the same thing as add new avatar, and you get taken to the downloads to get them. Now, I said you can do custom avatars. Well, how do you start that? And that is, instead of add new 3D avatar, you can say create 3D avatar. When you click on this particular one, first of all, the screen goes blank with the avatar we already had loaded unloads. But now you can sit here and create your own avatar, decide what group you want it to be in. You can add a description, you can add a gender if you like. These are all just for search terms. They're not used in any other way than just search terms. And then you upload your main avatar file. In our case, we're going to go to, where am I going? Data, oh yeah, Blender, since that's where we're working in. Avatars, and I downloaded a Ninja just to get started from Mixamo. We'll do a complete different stream on that at a time that'll go into a lot of detail of how you can do this yourself. But basically, all I have to do is grab the Ninja Babylon file, just the main file at this time, click OK, and it will upload it. And then I set the original frame, which I cheated and looked ahead. I already know it's 211 frames from first frame to the end frame for the idle. When we create an avatar, we actually put the idle in the original artwork. So when the file comes through, it is the artwork and its initial animation. So if I say save and continue, notice it didn't load it yet. It takes me to my file list page where I can come in here and say upload the additional files that go with it. So in my case, I have those, and I have the manifest file, just 4 images that make up this character. And click the button, it uploads that fast and easy, and I can say load avatar. The first thing it's going to show me in this scene is, notice that's a foot in front of me. Okay, look, we have Jack and the Beanstalk. We have a very, very big avatar that came through because the scaling had to be 1:1:1 in Blender to export to Babylon. So the first thing we want to do is we want to adjust the scaling. Notice I gave you a door, just like we talked about earlier in this video. I gave you a door so you know how big to scale it. I'm going to start with 0.09 just to kind of get it even close to where I'm going. And when I bring it down to 0.09, see, he fits in the doorway. I can fine tune it and make him a little taller, make it a little whatever I want it to be. As long as it fits in the doorway, he'll be able to walk into buildings in the scenes. Okay, so that's the goal here. If you decide you don't want to walk into buildings, you can make them bigger. That's your website, your business. I just wanted to show you if you want it to fit in most buildings, keep the clearance into the door. The other thing is, like we mentioned earlier, there is an arrow. Oh yeah, by the way, since I noticed I made him a little taller, I can also make it proportional just by copying that same value into the width and height. Now he fills out at the original artwork design without being skinnier or wider or anything, which you can still change if you want. The other part is, notice the arrow points this way. If I were to use him right now and he started walking, he would move the direction of the arrow, but his animation, he'd still be facing that way. So what we do is we adjust the direction of the avatar. In this case, all the things that come from Mixamo are 90 degrees offset from what we're doing in WalkTheWeb. So just to let you know, 90 degrees, he's facing the right direction. Now we're ready to do it. If there's any position like he's not centered in behind the arrow, or if he's not centered in the doorway, you can actually adjust those items right here. And once you hit save scaling, there's your avatar. You're ready to go. You can upload different files. You can add the animations. We can do the colors. For example, let's say, here we go. We've got this. We set on body. You can click on this, right click on the scene on any item, or you can do this in the, you can just click on the item here and then it'll open up the section. Once you do that, you have the option to adjust the colors of things. So you can do anything you like, change whatever values you'd like it to be, and now you have the ninja of your dreams. Go through each one of these different sections, change whatever colors you like. You know, like I like him to be a little, I like ninja to be more of a black color. I want him wearing dark colors so he doesn't glow in the dark, or he doesn't show in the, people can't find him in the dark. So he's, oh, you got colors of eyes. You can actually make him bright fluorescent red eyes if you wanted to. Anything you want. The mask. You can change all these various colors. Put whatever you like it to be. When you're all done, just click on Save Colors and it'll remember what you've done. Move on to your animations and you've got a fully working avatar. And then guess what? Once you've done that, you can come in here, say select my avatar, and you can actually scroll over here to, since I put him in a different category, it comes up at the end. Ninja, by the way, notice that it doesn't have a picture yet. All we have to do for the picture, 3D avatars, go options and settings, and we can say avatar snapshot. First thing I'm gonna do is back my guy off a little bit. Ooh. Oh, he's switching my avatar. I clicked on something by accident. Okay, so if I click on this down in the bottom left, I can release my avatar from the the camera from my avatar. Now I can come in here, get this wherever I want it to be, get my nice image of, you know, get it perfectly laid out. Remember that this little thing in the center here, that's the center of the image. So kind of center along that if you can. And say set default snapshot. And there we are. Now we have an image that will be set when you're selecting your avatar. And I don't know if I have this reloading right now or if it's using the old image. We're going to find out. And it is. So now we already have the image up here. We can click on it. And I know we didn't put all the other animations in here, but I just want to show you. If I click on that, I'll go back to my avatar here. What's going to happen is my avatar is now that avatar. He won't have the walk in place and everything else because I didn't throw all the other animations in there. It takes a second because you are unloading the current avatar and reloading the new one. When you first enter a scene, it does it a little bit faster because it doesn't have to remove the other one and stuff. But come on. Is it going to prove me wrong just because everybody's watching? No. I don't think it liked that I had my camera disconnected when I did it. May have a camera issue at the moment. Well, here, the other thing you can do is when, or it may have, oh, actually, I know why it didn't load. You need at least one other animation for it to load because the part where it shows the avatar after it's completed is after those other animations load. So for now, I'm actually going to jump back on here, go select my avatar, and I'm going to use one of my default avatars for now. But once you add the animations, it will come in and it'll let people select it. But you can't select an avatar that doesn't have animations added, at least one, because at the end of the adding animations process is when it sets it to transparent and to replace your current avatar. So you got to have at least one. Okay. But we do have an avatar, and that's as quick and simple as it is to create and share new avatars. So with that said, We have some really cool stuff in store for you with 2021. I can't believe 2020 is over. Yes, everybody clap for that one. But we have some really cool stuff coming up. We've done some massive work in 2020. You may see a few more reviews of the past year of different things that we've updated as we go. But bear with me in the real near future after we release this next update. Then I'm going to sit down with you and show you a full video tutorial on how to take an avatar from Mixamo and how to completely bring them into here, how to apply all the animations, how to create all the additional animations so you can have your walk and your sleep and your sit and your walking with the rifle and everything else that we've been doing, swimming and all this other stuff that we're planning to do in the future. I'm going to show you how to create an avatar and load them up with all the animations and make it available and even share it at the end so you can have it available for other people to download and use. So that's what we're going to do. I thank you for watching today. I hope you have a great day, but that's the updates. That's what we've been doing for the past 2 months only. All the stuff I talked about just now was 2 months of programming. Okay, so keep in mind, we're chugging our way forward and we're going to have some really cool stuff for you in the near future. But thank you for watching, and I want you to have a great day. Take care.